Hi, boys and girls. I am so excited for what we are going to do together today. So, like I mentioned earlier when we read our Think Green story, at the end of the story, the teacher and her class worked together to make a garden. Unfortunately, we're not together at school to build this garden together, but I still thought it would be fun to show you how you would put a garden together, and then over the next couple of weeks, we can watch this garden grow together, and hopefully we'll be back together in school soon so we can see the garden in person, and then everything we're going to grow today are actually things that you can eat. So hopefully we'll get to try them all together too. So I'm going to show you everything I have here, and then we're going to get started with everything we're going to grow together. So I have 4 little pots right here. They each have words on them that tell us what we're going to grow in each pot. So the first thing we're going to try to grow is rosemary. The second thing is oregano. The third is cilantro, and the fourth is basil. So these are all things called herbs that you can use when you're cooking meals, and you can use them for lots of other things too, but mostly for herbs when you're cooking. So I'm going to show you the different things that I have that we're going to use to make these things grow. So the kit that I have has these really cool little discs. What shape is this disc? That's right, it's a circle. So these are very special circles that when I add water to them, they will turn into the dirt that we need for our plants to grow. So I'm going to put 1 in each box, or pot, if you will. And then I'm going to go and pour just a little bit of water in each one. And once I do, I'll show you what it looks like. So just a little bit. Oops. That's why I put a towel down, so I wouldn't make a big old mess. All right. So as we add the water to it, it starts to get bigger and look a little bit more like dirt. So I'm going to stir it up a little bit. And as I'm stirring it, I'm going to show it to you. So as you can see, it's looking more and more like the dirt we would use when we were potting something. I'm going to add a little bit more water to each cup because I can tell that I need more. And then I'm going to add 1 more circle to each cup. That way we have enough dirt to plant our seeds. So I added a little bit more water. I'm going to add 1 more circle to each pot. And then I'm going to stir it up. Let's count to 10 while we stir each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, I'm going to show you what this one's starting to look like. Getting a little bit more dirt, looking a little bit more like mud in there. So we're going to let that one sit for a second. We're going to move on to our next one. Let's keep counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's keep counting from 10. Let's start with 11. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, keep going with me, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right, it looks like each of our pots is ready to take their seed. So I'm going to show you what it looks like before we put the seed in. Just a pot full of dirt. And then I'm going to show you our different seeds. I want you to stop and think about what is the same about our seeds and what is different about our seeds. They are very, very tiny. At least this one is. So this is our, put it on my finger. Might be hard to see on the camera, but we're going to try. This is our rosemary seed. Ooh, see, it's very, very tiny. Itty bitty little seed. So those are our rosemary seeds. So I'm gonna drop them in. And then let's look at our next set of seeds. Oops, they're so small. Our next one is our oregano seeds. So I'm gonna put these in my hand. Ooh, these are even smaller than our rosemary seeds. I'm gonna have to get really close to the camera for you guys to see this one. These are very tiny seeds. So we're gonna dump those in. Ooh, they're kind of sticking to my hands. I wish you guys were here to help me plant this, but I hope the video helps you get to see it a little bit. All right, so we did our rosemary. We did our oregano. Our next one is our cilantro. Let's listen to what these sound like. Do you think these seeds are gonna be bigger or smaller than the seeds we've looked at before? I'm gonna shake them for you again. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna open them. All right, you got your guesses? Bigger or smaller? All right, let's see if your prediction was right. These seeds are much bigger seeds for the cilantro. So I'm gonna drop them in. And then our last one is our basil seeds. Let's see what these sound like. Let's see. All right, our basil seeds aren't the smallest and they're not the biggest. So that means they are in between the size of the cilantro and the oregano. They're in between. They would be in the middle if we put them smallest to largest. So I'm gonna drop those in. And then the last thing we need to do to help our plants grow is put a little bit more dirt on top. So I'm gonna put that on top. And then we're gonna pour just a tiny bit more water to help our dirt get ready to help the plants grow. 1, 2, 3 is enough for me. 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 So now we have to wait. We have to wait and see if our plants grow. So while we wait, it's gonna take a while. So while we're waiting, I want you guys to think and predict what you think is gonna happen with these plants. Do you think they're gonna get really, really tall? Or maybe really, really wide? What color do you think they're going to be? What will they smell like? These are all things we can eat. So what do you think they're gonna taste like? Those are things that we can think of over the next couple weeks while we check in on these plants. So about once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on how quickly they grow, we'll check in and I'll show you a video so you can see how they're growing and how it's going along. And in the meantime, I also have 2 other plants. Since we've been talking about planet Earth and keeping the earth healthy, remember in our story we learned that plants and trees help to keep the air clean that we breathe. They keep that air fresh to help our lungs and our bodies stay safe. So I wanted to show you 2 more plants that I have that we can keep observing while we're waiting for the rest of our garden to grow. So I have a cactus plant that is going to be part of our garden. And I also have this plant that's going to be part of our garden. So I want you to look at these 2 plants. Talk with your grown-up. What is the same about these plants? I see that they're both what color? They're both green. I see that they're both in pots. Now stop and think, what's different about these plants? I know you guys can't touch them in person, but one thing I can tell that is different is this plant is very smooth and this cactus is very pokey or sharp. So those are some things that are the same and different. So you can turn and talk with your grown-up and talk about how these 2 plants are the same or how they're different. And you can also turn and talk with your grown-up about your predictions for everything we planted today. I can't wait to see how our garden grows and to check back in with you and show you how everything has changed, and I can't wait to hear your predictions. Please feel free to dojo either myself or Mazinga or any other teachers. I'd love to share the predictions you have from this activity. Thanks, and have a wonderful day, everybody.